some disturbing footage has come out featuring A'ja Wilson and her entire Las Vegas Aces team trying to pretty much flop, assault, do whatever they can to get that win yesterday, but it was just not enough, guys. This is some
The moment the footage appeared on screen, fans were left completely stunned by what unfolded between A'ja Wilson and Lexie Hull. The four-time MVP and the face of the Las Vegas Aces suddenly found herself at the center of a storm after a clip surfaced, putting her actions directly under the spotlight.
Lexie Hull was getting pushed all game. Look at that. Like elbowed, pushed, but guess who fell? That's an illegal screen.
Look, illegal screens at this point.
What many described as an act of pure aggression and recklessness quickly stole the spotlight. Instead of celebrating her usual dominance through leadership, rebounding, and scoring, the conversation shifted to one pressing question. Did she cross the line? Indiana Fever fans flooded social media demanding consequences, while A'ja Wilson's supporters rushed to defend their star. The fact that it happened in the heat of an already emotional game only intensified the backlash. This was not just a routine foul. It was the kind of moment that sparks heated debate and forces people to question what kind of legacy a superstar will ultimately leave behind.
What the hell? Y'all playing super duper dirty. But this is how they was playing. This is how they was playing. Let's see.
Leans into Lexie Hull, pushes her. Look at this. Pushes Lexie Hull down. Like, I can't take this crap. I'm sick of watching it over and over. That's a moving screen, and then pushes her.
It all began with one clip that went viral, replayed endlessly across social media. A'ja Wilson, the Las Vegas Aces superstar and four-time MVP, was caught in a heated clash with Indiana Fever's Lexie Hull at first. It appeared to be just another high-intensity play in a game already filled with pressure. But when the slow-motion replays began circulating, fans saw something far more troubling. Wilson's arm connected hard, sending Hull stumbling back in pain. What initially looked like routine physicality quickly escalated into a firestorm of controversy.
Was calling flop. I'm pretty sure everybody's saying them flopping all over the damn place. I mean, they was hella flopping in this game. I mean, it was bad.
What began as an ordinary defensive battle quickly spiraled into the night's biggest controversy. Within minutes of the footage appearing on social media, platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter were flooded with divided reactions. Some fans immediately labeled it an outright attack, demanding Wilson be suspended for crossing the line. Others dismissed it as typical playoff physicality, accusing Fever players of exaggerating to sway public opinion. The split was sharp, the debate relentless, and one fact became clear. This was not a moment that would simply fade away. Instead, the circumstances surrounding it only added more fuel to an already growing fire.
I just gotta be honest. I just gotta keep it real. But at this point, like, when is something's gonna be done? You know what I'm saying? Like, when is they gonna, like, somehow fix this, or somehow, you know, like, I know they kind of fixed the whistle for the most part, but I don't know, man.
Coming off a stretch of rough performances against the surging Aces, A'ja Wilson and her team were already under heavy scrutiny. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, energized by Caitlin Clark's arrival and powered by Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, suddenly looked fearless, a team transforming into contenders. In contrast, the Aces were criticized for acting entitled, leaning on reputation rather than proving themselves on the floor. So, when Wilson lashed out at Lexie Hull, it did not come across as simple frustration. To many, it felt like desperation. Hull's reaction only fueled the uproar. Known as one of the toughest defenders in the league, she was visibly shaken in the aftermath. Fans seized on the moment, sharing clips with captions like, "Bullying won't save you now," and "This is what losing looks like." The controversy wasn't just about the hit itself. It became about watching a superstar's image unravel in real time. What made matters worse was the response from officials. Fever fans argued referees once again protected star power instead of ensuring fairness, especially as videos circulated showing Wilson's actions overlooked while Fever players were penalized for far less. To many, the message was clear. The league was not playing by the same rules.
Dirty, because they play dirty.
Here we go. A'ja Wilson. Look at her trying to flop to get a call. Nobody touch you. And this is the biggest bullcrap of the game. So Kelsey Mitchell goes in for a layup. A'ja Wilson shows them their lip, so they review it. You ever see an Indiana Fever player get a review when they're called for a foul and they zoom in with a microscope?
This moment only reinforced a long-standing belief that the league bends over backward to protect its biggest stars, even at the expense of fairness. By the end of the night, the clip wasn't just an ugly highlight. It had become a symbol. To critics, it represented arrogance, entitlement, and an unwillingness to face the reality that Wilson's dominance was being challenged. To her defenders, it was nothing more than an overblown reaction to a heated play in the middle of fierce competition. But no matter which side fans found themselves on, one question echoed throughout the league. Had A'ja Wilson crossed a line she could not come back from? The uncertainty only deepened when shocking developments unfolded in the hours that followed.
This is ridiculous. Michaela Timpson gets a foul called for, and look at, Becky Hammond. Sit down, just because your team's getting killed. Look at this, another legal screen by A'ja Wilson. You cannot stick your leg out on when you're setting screens. A'ja Wilson, look at that foul they called for.
Once the video of A'ja Wilson and Lexie Hull surfaced, the internet instantly turned into a battleground. What might have been brushed off as just another rough playoff moment exploded into a viral storm. Fans slowed the footage down, replayed it from every angle, and dissected it like courtroom evidence. Very quickly, the debate shifted from whether Wilson had committed a foul to whether her entire superstar legacy was beginning to crack. Within hours, hashtags like Justice for Lexie and Suspend Wilson were trending. Fever fans argued that if the roles were reversed, punishment would have been immediate. They pointed to examples of lesser-known players who had received harsher penalties for softer contact, calling it proof the league protects its stars. Some even tagged WNBA officials directly, demanding Wilson be suspended. One viral post read, "If the league lets this slide, they're admitting MVPs don't have to follow the rules." Meanwhile, Wilson's supporters rushed to defend her. They claimed Hull exaggerated the hit to win sympathy, and insisted Wilson was simply giving Indiana a taste of its own physical style. Clips of Aaliyah Boston's bruising screens and Kelsey Mitchell's aggressive drives were shared as evidence that the Fever dish out just as much contact as they receive. What began as one controversial foul quickly morphed into a proxy war about toughness, favoritism, and even the identity of women's basketball itself. On TikTok, creators poured fuel on the fire with dramatic slow-motion edits painting Wilson as the villain, while others mocked the outrage, suggesting the clip only went viral because of Caitlin Clark and Indiana's rising popularity. The moment stopped being just about basketball. It became a story fans couldn't look away from, with Wilson cast as a character in a larger drama. Former players and analysts soon joined the conversation. Some defended her, saying it was frustration, not malice. Others were blunt, insisting she had crossed a professional line. ESPN panels replayed the clip endlessly, debating whether it was competitive fire or a cheap shot. The more it was discussed, the more it cemented itself as the defining controversy of the season. The fallout didn't stop at highlight reels and fan edits. It spiraled into a wave of memes. One viral image showed Wilson squaring up to Hull with boxing gloves. Another depicted her MVP trophies cracking in half with captions like, "How many awards before accountability?" The backlash was harsh, and soon Wilson's name was trending everywhere. For all the wrong reasons to be why the end of the week, what should have been a discussion about basketball and officiating had transformed into a cultural firestorm. The league's brightest star had suddenly become its most polarizing figure. Yet as fans argued endlessly online, the WNBA itself remained silent. That silence only made things worse. Rather than cooling the outrage, it fueled speculation that the league was protecting Wilson. To Fever supporters, it confirmed their worst fears. They saw it as proof the WNBA bends the rules to protect marquee names. Comment sections exploded with anger, insisting that a rookie or role player would have been suspended instantly for the same foul. Old clips resurfaced of Caitlin Clark being knocked down earlier in the season without a whistle, reinforcing the belief that different standards exist depending on the name on the jersey. The league's refusal to respond lit a fuse for conspiracy theories. Many believed Wilson's MVP status and sponsorship deals made her untouchable. Others argued the WNBA couldn't afford to suspend her. With Clark driving record-breaking ratings, the balance between the league's established face and its rising star was too delicate to disrupt. Analysts began to frame the silence as something more than a misstatement. It looked like brand protection. Debate shows and podcasts questioned what message the WNBA was sending. If toughness and fairness were the values they wanted to promote, critics argued, then they had to hold even their biggest stars accountable. Otherwise, the league risked looking weak and hypocritical. That narrative only grew stronger. Fans openly wondered if Fever players themselves felt abandoned. Some hinted in interviews that the physicality had crossed a dangerous line, and that behind Lexie Hull's shaken reaction was a locker room trying to protect both a teammate and its reputation. Meanwhile, Wilson's teammates circled around her, brushing off questions with rehearsed lines about just playing tough. Instead of calming the storm, those responses only deepened the debate, giving fans more ammunition for arguments about bias and unfair treatment. With no official stance from the league, social media took control of the narrative. Every meme, every viral clip, and every angry fan post added fuel to the fire, painting the WNBA as either too timid or too complicit to intervene. What may have been intended as a strategy to protect its stars ended up backfiring, leaving the impression that the league had something to hide.